So let's have a look at it. Okay. Um, I'm really inspired, actually, to be honest, to be sharing this with you today. And the reason why I say that is because this new moon comes with, and I always say this, and it always is the truth, but particularly with this case, we're always constantly spiraling into a vortex of new discovery. So it's not like, we're in a point where every moment is grand, but honestly, every moment is grand. Every moment is amazing. And if we see it that way, we can always honestly give ourselves the opportunity to experience a life that is filled with unity, filled with a sense of, you know, like I'm not imprisoned. And so I want to open up with this part that was written in the article that says, I am the manifestation of consciousness in process. It means that we are spiraling through this vortex of infinite creation that is so vast. My body is my temple. This is the sacred place in which I process and experience all that I know myself to be, and I assimilate it into form through my actions, leading to the evolution of my soul and simultaneously of the collective consciousness. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. We go through our lives and we experience ourselves in deep, profound ways. And as we go through our lives experiencing this infinite, like, wonderness and wilderness, I see that we are just sparks of beautiful creation, consistently learning more and more and more and more, and allowing ourselves to assimilate within ourselves more of creation. We're like sponges that soak it up. We soak up the collective consciousness. We soak up the infinite beauty and wonder that it is. But what happens if that has been slightly distorted? What happens if there's been a slight sort of mismanagement of that field? And that now all of a sudden our natural process of moving through time and space and assimilating my life through actions is not one where we are inspired, not one where we are connected, not one where we are feeling infiniteness. Imagine what we're going to be basically assimilating into our evolution of our soul and the collective consciousness. So the framework in which I'm sharing this with you today is one where if you tap into the new moon, it's I am the manifestation of consciousness in process. This is what we are. My body is my temple. Do we treat it that way? Do we make choices in our lives where we understand that when we put energetic vibration within us and through our when we eat food, for instance, or whatever through our mouths, do we honor that sacredness that exists within us, or do we react and respond and action through psychological imprinting and habits that reveal to us a lack of challenge or self-determination through losing the battle between heaven and earth, which is simply the process of heaven being the midheaven, so therefore the head and the senses and the phi ratio, and the body, which is the temptation. In that way, they are both together. And yet, when we are doing like a Kundalini rising experience, or we are accessing our root chakra, and there's a temptation to separate ourselves and sort of give our bodies energy that might not necessarily bode well for it. So is your body your temple? Do you honor it, or do you pay more attention to the car that you have? Does our consciousness look at the Apple iMac that we have with the phone and be like, that glass broke on it, or get a protection thing, but nobody concerns about protecting their own vehicle that keeps them alive to experience the mobile phone? I process and experience all that I know myself to be and assimilate it into form through my actions, leading to the evolution of my soul and simultaneously of the collective consciousness. And so here we are again, soul awareness, realizing our through time and space. My body and this physical reality are not to imprison my soul, but to aid it through the process of choosing to directly experience my inner knowing and having that knowing reflect back to me through the physical reality. And that's what I see this beautiful picture to be. As we interact with this infinite, we create sparks of imagination and beauty. And as we're spiraling through, we're touching it, and it's just whispering beautiful, infinite wonder and excitement and joy. And yet, do we get bogged down with the false light information that gets perpetuated through smokescreen mirror governmental archon stuff? Where are we? What are we doing? Are we really manifesting our truest selves? Are we really accessing our infinite potential? Main chart. So this is a big deal because I've spoken a lot about the natural way that DNA forms through some of my most recent YouTube videos. We're talking a lot about the nature of Pluto moving through Capricorn, and Pluto has been at 13 degrees direct now. It's been direct for quite some time. And we're moving into a new direction in life. We're redefining ourselves. And I see that we have this collective DNA that we carry with us of imprinting of the past. And yet, do we get to recreate that imprinting again, creating DNA that's forming from its past? Or do we let go of that process and add color and spark and collaboration to it? Do we regrow our DNA and molecularly structure it in a way where we change our own inner dynamics? Do we even think like that? These are the types of things that assimilation is. Assimilation being the natural way that we're moving through time and space, and as we grow through our choices, we assimilate into our DNA the experiences that we have. And so we have this beautiful, moon, sun, Mercury conjunction all in Scorpio, trining Chiron in Pisces, and it's also sextiling Jupiter. And it's beautiful because it's like Scorpio correlates to DNA, Jupiter correlates to and expansion, and Virgo healing, so the healing of our DNA through the chirotic force, which is assimilation. And so that's why this article is so much about assimilation. That's why this article is so much about the nature of understanding ourselves through our osmosis, through our choices. You'll see there as well that you've got Uranus in Aries, that's quincunxing the sun, that's quincunxing the moon, the new moon, it's quincunxing Mercury, and it's, of course, there at the same time quincunxing that Jupiter. So you've got this new entire direction that's merging for us right now, this Aries Uranus signature, and you've got the assimilation process occurring with Uranus and Aries saying, let's liberate ourselves and instinctually pioneer a new direction. Pluto and Capricorn is saying, I've already set you guys up for the new regrowth period. The new moon in Scorpio is saying, okay, let's focus on our core. Let's focus on the DNA molecular structure that we have. Chiron in Pisces, connected with the Jupiter and Virgo story, is like, let's heal the collective karma. Let's assimilate that into it. Let's bring it to the surface. Let's change the way that we operate. Let's change our wording. Let's create and spell through our communication with upliftment and acceptance and unity and forgiveness and compassion, more love, more understanding, instead of the loss and abandonment that we keep on perpetuating into our reality through the experience of past life dynamics that have caused us to feel these experiences. We all carry this with us. Do we choose to allow the colors of the morphogenetic field that Chiron represents as an opportunity for us to regrow and repair some of that DNA stuff? So it's a big chart, it's a big new moon, and I feel like when we tap into the energy totally over here, there's so much infinite potential that is available to us. So I ask you, as you move along through this new moon, to see where you can repair your own DNA structure. See where you can make new choices in your life that are empowering you, make new experiences in your life that force you to experience this reality in a way that assimilates more positive, upbeat experiences. And whatever that might be.